Hi guys, welcome back to We're Just Here to Make Friends, episode 8.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Elysa.
Today's
just
us.
us guys. Sorry to disappoint.
No, but we have a pretty good episode today.
We're really excited.
Yeah,
to
we're going to
share
be
this with you.
talking about unifieds.
Woo!
Yeah. It is definitely
It is October.
It's college audition
heat
season.
of college audition season. All my friends are telling me that they're sending in their pre-screens.
Yeah.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about unifieds.
Yeah, it's a lot. We don't have any guests this week because I've been a little bit busy with Wonderful Town rehearsal.
Gabby's been cranking. She's been dancing. She's got rehearsal after this. So we're doing a pre-rehearsal filming so that we can get this done.
Yeah, so it is October, as you said.
Spooky season.
I bet a lot of you are sending in your pre-screens, which I hope is going super well. I hope that they've all been sent in. The earlier, the better.
You're close.
Yeah.
You gotta be close.
But yeah, should we talk about what unifieds is?
Yeah. So unifieds is a big portion of the college audition process because it basically is a sort of convention, I would say, of auditions. And you basically get to go to a place, and most of your schools that you've already sent in pre-screens for and have gotten callbacks for will be there. And you can audition in person there instead of having to go to all the individual schools. So like they will send out a list, like the website will have it up, of like what schools they represent. Like Chicago Unifieds is different than New York Unifieds, which is different than California. Like all of them have different schools that they represent, and it just like depends which ones are in which places. But when you apply to a school, you send in your pre-screen, you get either accepted or denied. If you get accepted, they give you a list of dates to schedule your audition. Mm-hmm. And so those dates will show you what day it is and where it is. So if, for example, it could be like January 21st, University of Cincinnati, like on campus. Or it could say University of Cincinnati, Chicago Unifieds, January, because Unifieds is the same weekend for all the schools. So all these schools will have the same days.
Yeah, I will add, there is an official Unifieds list of schools. And when you, at first glance, it's not that many schools. And you're like, why is everybody
this worth
talking?
it?
Yeah, like why is everybody talking about how like, oh, they go to so many schools at Unifieds? There's an official Unifieds list and then an unofficial Unifieds list. So I went to Chicago and New York Unifieds. Chicago had many schools.
So many.
Yeah. So I was able to do a bunch of walk-ins. New York, there were also very many, but it is very time efficient.
Yeah, it really is. And money efficient. Cost efficient, yeah. Money efficient. Cost efficient, time efficient, yeah. It was so helpful. I did, I think, 5 auditions at Unifieds in Chicago. And it was over the course of like 4 days. So I think one of my days was taken up by 2. But basically you have your dance call if the school does a dance call. All of mine did dance calls. It either has you have your dance call and then you have your vocal call, which is usually not the same day, but it could be. Mm-hmm. My voco, I had my dance call, and then like an hour later was my voice call. Yeah. So like that was rare because Cincinnati was right after too. We had our dance call and then right after we had our voice call. But like Texas, it was 2 different days for me. Like my dance call was in the morning of the day before, then I was done for the day. And then the next day, like afternoon, I had my vocal call. So it just really depends when you schedule it, but you need to like watch out. You don't schedule over each other because a lot of them do coincide, but there's a lot of different groups that you can schedule for. Yeah. So like you hopefully can make time for all of your auditions.
That's why it's really important to send your pre-screens in early. I will say that sending in pre-screens early means that, I wouldn't say this for all schools, but more often than not, when you send your pre-screens in early, you will hear back early. And once you hear back early, you can snag a better time slot for yourself.
Yeah.
And I remember, so there were 2 schools, it was Ithaca and Penn State, that I kind of got in a pickle with. I was like, oh my gosh, like, because I had already scheduled all my other auditions, I didn't have time at Chicago Unifieds or New York Unifieds to schedule them. And so I had to like cancel another school that I wasn't like really, like my heart didn't really want to go to that school. So I canceled that school to put in Penn State and like schedule that dance call. But yeah, definitely send in your pre-screens as soon as you can so that you can hear back and get that schedule.
And honestly, I think Michigan, the tentative date was December 1st. Do not wait that long, because if they do give you an answer, you'll have a week to schedule your audition, and so many of those will already be taken up. A bunch of mine, luckily I got in, but I was on the waiting list to get a spot at Unifieds. That is a thing. For Texas, I got through the waiting list, but literally we had to email them 4 times. We were we can't go to Texas. Please, this is the only audition I can do. They were we can fit you in. You have to you don't want to have to do that. It was really annoying. Yeah. And then Ithaca I had to do on Zoom, and then Syracuse I had to do a full virtual because they didn't have any more space. So it's really about your timing, and also if it's their fault they get back to you late, it's their fault, and you're well, there's nothing you can do about it. But if it was because you sent your pre-screens in later than you should have, just go as fast as you can, I think. Yeah. And then you'll already know your stuff, and then you're super ready for the spring. Because if you have it memorized and you've been working on it for since summer, that's what I did. I started in the summer. Yeah. Starting to memorize, because you're going to do these things so many times. So many times.
Yeah, so that's also a thing to keep in mind when picking out material. You want to be able to sing it and do it over and over. Yeah. And do it when you're tired. And also, Unifieds is in the winter. You don't want to be sick and, singing a song that you can't sing.
Right before musical season, right after play season. Yeah. So my play was November, and then I had a show in December, and then I had January, and then halfway through January I started auditions. So you're gonna be worn out. That spring season for musical theater kids is crazy, exhausting, because you're working on your awards for your regional areas. You're working on your musical every day. You're skipping rehearsal to go to Unifieds. So there is a big deal of pick things you love, but also, like you said, that you can sing when you're tired. Because, you don't need to scrub your face off every measures.
They just want to see heart. They want to see hunger. They want to see rigor, hunger, and heart.
Shout out Rachel. No, it's so real.
But yeah, it is. So New York Unifieds was in the end of January. And then Chicago was about
second week of February.
About 2 weeks later.
Right before Valentine's Day.
I came out of doing, I think I did 7 shows of Legally Blonde, the week before New York Unifieds. And I was so paranoid about getting sick. So literally I went to school, masks on. Because I was okay, these auditions, not to freak anybody out or put too much pressure on it, because this is supposed to be fun. The college audition process in hindsight,
it was
so much fun. But you also have there is a goal.
It will change your life.
Yeah,
I hate to break it to you. And the best part is, once you're done,
it's the biggest relief.
It's so nice. Yeah. And even if you haven't heard back from anything, just being done is wow. Yeah. And then once you're at the school, all we have to do now is audition for shows, which is fun. Mm-hmm. That's not stressful. If we don't book, we don't book, but we're still at musical theater college. Yeah. This definitely is the one audition that will change your life forever. Yeah.
Most cliche, but you will end up wherever you need to be.
You're supposed to have fun with it, because that's what they want to see. Yeah, they want to see your personality. They can listen to anyone sing and dance their face off all day, but they want to see why you want to sing and dance your face off.
Right. Yeah. So I went to New York and Chicago Unifieds. You went to Chicago. I went to Chicago, yeah. What was that like for you?
It was a lot. Yeah, like I said, I did 5 schools. So Gabby stayed in the Palmer House, the infamous Palmer House, which, if you don't know, is where I'm going to say 98% of the auditions of Unifieds are. The only one that I didn't do was Texas State, because their dance call was at the Cincinnati Ballet, the Chicago Ballet.
There are about 5 schools that are unofficially at Unifieds that are off campus.
But they're we're here. But they aren't. I don't know. Maybe you have to pay money to be a part of Unifieds or something, and so they don't want to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was the only one that wasn't at Palmer House. So Gabby stayed at that hotel, which you can talk about in a minute, but I didn't. Our friends have an apartment 20-minute drive. So we had driven to Chicago from Nashville, and we stayed at the apartment, and it was incredible. I would get home every night, and I just rest and watch TV and listen to my songs, and like I wouldn't have to talk to anyone. I was in my own bedroom, like my parents had their own bedroom, but we just like ate food. Staying in a hotel room is definitely different. Because that hotel is loud. Everywhere people are singing. Like you're walking down the hallway to get coffee and there's people singing. Like
I was one of those people.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even find a place to warm up. I had to warm up in the stairwell. Like it's insane. So there is definitely something about being in that environment while you're auditioning that's like really fun and exciting. But also I would recommend, if you want to have your recharge time, which like I was happy I had, maybe get an Airbnb or something if you can, or like if you have people that you could stay with. Like it definitely gave such a different vibe than a lot of people's stories I heard that were like, I couldn't sleep because people were belting at 3 a.m. and I was like, that's awful for you.
No.
Like I slept awesome.
Yeah.
But it was overwhelming, but I had the best time. But it was awesome.
Yeah. I stayed at the Palmer house. I got there, I think, a day before my first audition, which I want to say was like February 3.
Yeah, I think it was like 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Yeah.
I really think it was.
Yeah, I personally I really enjoyed it because in between auditions, I could just like go back up to my room and like recharge. But I will say that like auditions for me, it's not like a social thing. I
No.
like to be in like I like to put my headphones on. I like to just like be in my like myself, so that
I'm not a talky person.
when
Yeah.
when I do like get into the audition room, I can just like
open up.
Yeah. So it was, for some people it was like a fun like social thing,
Like,
which I think is awesome.
And
like,
I did meet a lot of people and like
so
followed
many,
Instagram.
like, fun and awesome, like really nice theater kids.
Yeah, and then you get to see where they end up, which is the coolest part.
Yeah,
like seeing all the people.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
But I'm more on like the introverted side, so it was a little bit a lot for me. But I would recommend it if you want to be like in between auditions, like going back to your room. I think that was the best part.
Yeah, that's the only thing I did miss, but like trying to find a space to like sit. But luckily, literally what would happen is like my parents would drop me off. I'd go do my audition, they'd pick me up, and I'd leave. Yeah. Like it wasn't very difficult. Like a lot of mine were very much, I think one of them I had like an hour break in between, so I just stayed in the hotel and like sat in the lobby and like looked at my monologues. But like I could just leave. But also being in the city is really fun because like I did a bunch of stuff in the city and like got to like look around, and we went to Italy. Love Italy. Miss Italy.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience to be surrounded by like a lot of talented people.
Yeah.
And it definitely is such a crazy environment because there's those people who are like, what's your name? I want to know everything about you. And then there's those people who like look like jerks, but then they talk to them and they're nice. And then there's people who are jerks. So it's like there's you know what I'm talking about though. It's like just be kind and considerate. And like definitely maybe check on someone and see how they're doing, because I feel like there's so many people who are like me, if I was sitting in my chair, but then if someone came up to me and was like, hi, what's your name? Like I would say hi. I wouldn't be like, ooh, don't talk to me. That's like, I mean, that's like when I said, hey, I like your pink Lululemon jacket when we were in our dance call, and you were like, wow, thank you. And then I was like, so are you a dancer? And you said, I did competitive dance for a long time. And I go, so yeah, you are. And that was me and Gabby's first interaction, which is hilarious. But like, yeah, you never know what people are going through and if they're stressed or if they're like so excited. So I think definitely like talk to people, but find your healthy in between.
Yeah, for sure. I did
I'm gonna blow my nose.
I did like most of my auditions at Unifieds actually. I didn't do I did maybe 2 virtual auditions, and then now that I think about it, I did not do any on-campus auditions. Did I? I'm sorry, y'all. Let me check my list. But I do know that I was really adamant in asking my parents about going to Chicago Unifieds because New York Unifieds is only 3 days. Or not even. Like
it's a weekend.
It's a weekend. So as many schools that you can knock out, it's still like you need more time. And with this like whole process, I assume you guys are auditioning for roughly like 7 to
25 probably.
25 schools.
Don't do more than 25. Like,
okay, listen.
Here's the person who did, and just don't do it.
Listen, my number went up because I was paranoid that I would not get into any schools.
Which you're gonna get into at least one,
yes,
hopefully. If you are confident that you can do this for a living, you will get into one school.
That's a very valid take.
But if you are confident that you can do this for a living, I'm not gonna say like everyone auditioning will get into one school, because that's not true. But if you're like really confident, like people have told you like you're good at this, like people who you value their opinions.
I think be optimistic.
Yeah.
But also like you have to be very realistic about this process, in that almost every single BFA is less than like 5%.
Yeah.
And I think even 5% is generous.
Ours is 1.5. That's the same as an Ivy League college.
Yeah. So like I was very adamant about like auditioning for as many schools as I can, partially to also get leverage for like if there was a school that I really, really wanted to go to, I could use like scholarship from one school and use that as leverage to get more money from the school that I really wanted to.
That is helpful.
So I did a bunch of walk-ins. So here's the thing about walk-ins. Walk-in slots fill up very quickly. So in order to get a walk-in slot, it's best to do it in the morning, or else by like 1 p.m. when everybody's like settled down after their actual audition stuff that they scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
All your walk-in slots will be gone. And that's not like always gonna be the case, but it's very important to try and get ahead of the game. But I really enjoyed all of my walk-ins. I got to make a lot of connections with new people and meet some really awesome heads of the programs. And it's also just a great way to like learn about new schools that might not have been on your radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Most of the walk-ins though are schools that didn't require pre-screens, correct?
That is true.
So yes. your Big 10, like the big MT10, which like includes like Texas, Cincinnati, Boca, Michigan, Carnegie, what else? Ithaca, Pace, maybe Syracuse. Those ones definitely require pre-screens. You won't be seeing Ithaca doing walk-ins.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Any schools that require pre-screens will not be likely to accept walk-ins at all. Yeah. There was I heard about an instance of like somebody trying to walk into a Carnegie audition, and I was like, oh my gosh.
No.
So
do your research.
Just like be mindful of that.
Don't go up to the Texas State table and ask if they have walk-ins. Because they don't do walk-ins. They'll look at you and laugh.
It's just something to keep in mind. But walk-ins are a great opportunity to just like also like settle on your material and then meet new people. And yeah, I would highly recommend it, but also don't overexert yourself doing too much.
I could have done walk-ins. I did 0 walk-ins.
But you did on-campus auditions too, right?
I did 2 on-campus auditions. So I went to Michigan for my UMich callback, and I went to Belmont because it's local for me, and that's where I did my Belmont audition. But those are the only 2 they did in person. Everything else was unifieds and online. Yeah, 2 on campus. But Belmont didn't require pre-screens, and Michigan did. So
yeah. Unifieds is a crazy time.
It was awesome, though. It was really great. I think the interesting thing is the environment you're in is so random. Like doing a dance call in a ballroom.
I know.
And also like it's just like it's fun because a lot of them are like dance classes. Like that's what the Boca one was. Yeah. We did like a ballet section, and then we did across the floor section, and then we did an MT combo, a musical theater combo at the end, and that was it.
Yeah.
Which was like really fun. And I think just having fun with it and not being stressed is the best option, because so many people there will be like freaking out. And if you can maintain your inner energy of like, I've got this, I'm going to have fun and do a good job, and not add to that, because the environment around you is already like so many people who are stressed. And like you just have to like keep yourself grounded in it, because it is crazy and so intimidating being surrounded by, oh, every single one of these kids is my competition. I'm in a dance club with another white blonde girl. Like that's like but you're not the same as that other girl. That's the thing. Like, you know, and so like for me it definitely was a little bit of like, don't compare yourself to the other people, cuz like
imposter syndrome in this industry is so real, y'all.
So real.
But you will end up where you need to be because you are unique and awesome.
Yeah.
And you are exactly what your program needs. But yeah, I agree with that. That also comes with being very confident in your material.
Yes.
Like, we have learned a lot in acting about how you can just, when you're like very confident in your material, you don't have to worry about anything else. Like, it can just like come out of you and you can have fun. Don't be me and memorize your monologue right before New York Unifieds because you didn't resonate with your monologue before. Let it be a monologue that you really resonate with.
It needs to like flow so easy. And that's why I say like, send your pre-screens now, memorize now, because like you can just say them every week. Like just say it to yourself in your bedroom every week and you're going to know it. Like I swear you're going to know it. Like, because you will be so ingrained, and don't let it get stale. Think of new things every time you say it. Like, I did my monologue that I did for college auditions at our diagnostics, and it was not as good as it was for my college auditions because I had been repeating the same tactics over and over again. So find ways to freshen it and not change your whole meaning, obviously, but just find ways to like stay in it, because you will get so tired of saying it. Just like pick songs you enjoy, like Gabby said, because I picked freaking Screw Loose, which is one of my favorite songs ever. Beautiful and if you were like, sing it right now, it's like, okay, I will, like, because I love that song. And I picked Nothing Short of Wonderful from Dogfight, which is another fun song. And like, it just, if you pick things you like and you're really good at, you'll enjoy singing it because you know you sound good on it, you know?
Yeah, and that translates so much.
They can read it, exactly. Like they were like, we can tell you enjoy the song. And when they say that, it's good because like, you're telling a story, yes, but you're also like, you're not auditioning for a show. You're auditioning yourself. Like, you are auditioning as a person, like a personality, a character to be displayed in a program. It's not like you yourself are auditioning for the role of whatever her face in Dogfight. You know, like Ali Ma's character, whatever. It's like you, which is really interesting. And so like that can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing, because it can be like, I'm putting myself out there and they hate me if they don't pick me. Like, they hate me as a person. Like, it is a hard comparison to find that you're not auditioning for a character, so they can't be like, you're not right for the character. They're like, you're not right for us. Yeah. Which is like soul crushing at times. But it's also like, they could have someone who's a sophomore who is so similar to you, and it's all a puzzle. It really is.
Yes.
Big puzzle. Sure. A lot of the seniors, we were talking about this the other day. What were you saying?
I was like saying that like a lot of the seniors I feel like are very similar to our class. And like I at one of my auditions, one of the big things that they emphasize towards us is like, never take anything that the audition panels do as like an insult or a compliment or anything. You know, like you can't really like read into it at all. Because really it is all like a puzzle. Like, if you are too similar to a sophomore that they already have, that might take away from the marketability of that sophomore, or like, yeah, it's just one big puzzle. Don't read into it a lot. And also like, you are like, as much as you are auditioning for these schools are also auditioning for you.
You're paying them money to listen to your audition. You're paying them like $100 to audition for their school, so they better listen and they better pay attention. Like, you are paying them. Remember that.
Yeah. Also, like, schools that might have not been on your radar might become on your radar after you meet the faculty, or schools that you thought that you wanted to go to might not be the one that you want to go to after meeting the faculty. I had an audition that I came out of feeling very not confident about, because I only sang 8 bars, and I was like, oh my god, like, they hated me. Oh my god, like, I'm not getting into that school. And then I got into that school. Yeah. So you really can't ever read too much into it. But yeah, any other tips about unifieds?
Yeah, I mean,
random stuff.
Just like
what to pack.
Oh yeah, what to pack. So much athletic wear and Leos and stuff. Like honestly, like it's weird because you have like sometimes you have 20 minutes in between to just change. But like if you have leggings and a sports bra on, you can throw on a pair of jeans and a sweater over it. Like I'm not a big dresses and skirts girly when it comes to auditions. I am a jeans and sweater or jeans and cute shirt girly. Like I wore my lucky freaking jeans.
Shirt, yeah.
My favorite jeans, I wore them to like every audition, and that pink sweater I have. Like if you look at photos of me in Chicago, it was like all the same outfits because I feel like it's just so easy and versatile. Like whatever your like not even go to audition outfit is, but just like one of your favorite outfits.
I agree with that.
And it's a presentable for an audition. Wear that because you'll feel comfortable in it, and don't wear something that's like a super tight dress. Like that's not comfortable. Like you should be something that you can feel in. Like I wear my Jordans because I love my sneakers, and like that's also something your outfit is showing exactly your outfit's showing your personality. So like pick outfits that you like wearing. You don't have to wear a leotard if you've never danced before. Like they want to see you. Like I show up to my Texas State dance call and there's 6 girls in the front, and their LaDuca boots and their leotards and everything, and like
I want LaDuca so bad.
Mine are gonna be here soon. My characters.
I want LaDuca boots.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm sorry.
That's my senior gift to myself. I think if I deserve them, I'll buy them for myself.
Yeah, I have to earn my LaDucas.
I have to earn mine. I know. I literally have to earn mine. But like, yeah, like they're so intimidating. They're up in the front, and I'm like in my airy leggings and my airy sports bra, and like that's enough for me. You don't need to be someone you aren't, because the whole point of this is showing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So like don't feel like you need to go to the dance store and buy a bunch of random things that you wouldn't wear normally, because like that's not who you are, and that's already fitting into like a different stereotype of someone you're trying to be and not who you actually are. So like just wear what you feel comfortable in, and then you will feel the best dancing and singing in that.
Yeah. Bring headshots and resume.
So many.
Yeah, bring
too
many, just in case.
Extra.
Also for walk-ins.
Just bring a lot, because
bring bring a Bluetooth speaker. Sometimes the schools will not have accompaniment. What? Say the word for me.
Accompaniment.
Thank you.
Accompaniment.
I said that very.
Accompaniment.
It just
sometimes the schools will not have accompaniment.
Yeah, and so have tracks prepared. Have them ready.
Yeah, because one of mine emailed the day of and was like, "We lost our accompanist."
Oh no!
And we were like, so my mom had to like find a track. It was scary. No. It was scary.
Have tracks prepared, even if you think that
you won't need them.
Yeah, you won't need them. More often than not, you will be using that Bluetooth speaker in very many auditions.
I love my JBL.
I use my Bluetooth speaker a lot.
I used it like 4 times, I think.
Yeah.
Nobody had freaking pianos.
Yeah.
Nobody had accompaniment.
Yeah.
Bring an iPad or your book with sheet music. People love iPads nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So you can bring either usually. Make sure you mark your score. Oh my gosh. Draw your start line, draw your end line, highlight, start, give them a tempo. Like being nice to your accompanist.
Be very respectful.
Be so respectful. Yeah. Don't be like, this is the tempo. Like, be like, hi, how was your day? They've been there as long as you have, probably longer, and they're just playing. Like, be respectful. Yeah. The accompanists we have here at CCM are some of the nicest people, and all they want to do is help you. They're not against you, unless maybe you did something to them in another life and like ruined it, and they will play bad for you.
Which is probably not true.
It's probably not. Just be nice to them, because they're probably having a really long day too. Yeah. And even just saying, hi, how are you? What's your name? How's your day going? And then saying thank you is such a big thing.
Yeah.
But highlight your music.
Yeah.
And tape it out. And if you don't, just look up all the tips, because there's more things you need to do than you think.
Yeah. And on the mention of long days, make sure to fuel yourself. Drink your water, drink your emergency, take your vitamins, don't get sick. Eat your food.
Yep.
Fuel yourself.
Sorry. If you realize you've done 3 auditions in that day and you haven't eaten anything, girl, eat something. Literally me yesterday. I was like 5:00 and I realized all I had was a slice of banana bread.
No!
Don't be like me. Eat food.
Eat a banana. Bananas are great.
Bananas are awesome.
Bananas are filling and they get you going.
Have a bar in your bag at all times. You think you won't need it? The amount of times that Cliff Bar saved my life. Like sitting in the lobby, I'm like, oh, I have a Cliff Bar. Just eat it. Like easy. And then you got some fuel.
Also, like, I think I got like really hungry after every single audition that I was in.
It's the adrenaline. It really like fuels you up. It like brings a different level of like to
definitely
you.
Pace yourself too.
Yeah.
If you have an important audition at 4, don't go crazy from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And don't sing too much before your audition. You don't need to sing your song 7 times. Because so many people are like, okay, here we go again. We're doing it. We're going to keep going.
I need to take that note. Yeah.
Like, you know it. Don't oversing. Like, do some SOTVs and eat it up.
What is that?
What does it stand for? What's it stand for? Semi-occluded vocal SOT.
Basically just super easy on the
lip
vocal
trills,
cords exercises.
hums. A new one I learned is this. It's you blow out and you puff up your cheeks. That's the one I've been working on that loosens my. I have allergies right now. If you can't tell it, so I'm a little stuffy. So when you get allergies, your lymph nodes swell up a little bit. And so I've been singing. I this one warm up where you like puff your cheeks and like slowly blow out air, which is like kind of a hum deal that loosens your limbs. So that's a new one I learned. Warm up. Oh my God, warm up.
People will be warming up in the Palmer house. Your neighbors in your hotel rooms will be warming up. And so you will not feel alone warming up. I was really scared to warm up because I was like, oh my God, everybody in this hotel is going to hear me. And they do. It was fine because everybody else is warming up.
Yeah.
So it'll be okay.
I warm up in my car. We would drive around in circles around the Palmer house and I just warm up.
Yeah, I also brought a belt box. So it's like one of those things that like muffles the sound. And you can like belt into it.
It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's really cool. Yeah, what was New York like?
New York was honestly not very different from Chicago other than the fact that it's much more compact. In the Palmer house, there's a little bit more room to spread out the auditions. It's between like 3 floors. I will say New York Unified's at Pearl Studios is just very crowded. It's tiny hallways. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of parents. So do what you gotta do. If you get like claustrophobic, try and find some like air. It gets really hot in there, I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
There were 2 schools that like had scheduled the same room at the same time, and so there was like
no,
I'm not even kidding, like 90 people waiting in the lobby of Pearl Studios, and it was like 90 degrees.
No, it was not. Oh my gosh.
And it was just a lot. But if you mentally prepare yourself for the chaos, you can live a little bit more in the peace.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's 2 Pearl Studios that it will happen in. So, and then 2 Ripley Greers that you can transfer to. So 4 different buildings.
Wow.
That you will have to walk to and from to get to each audition. And I feel like New York Unified's audition started much earlier in the morning.
Really?
Than Chicago for
Chicago,
me.
the first one for me was like 10.
Yeah, I had a dance call at 8 a.m.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was
awful.
It was a great way to start the morning though. Like I
warming
like
up.
A little
I
good
guess
like
so.
exercise.
I didn't like some of my dance calls didn't do a warm up. And I was like, okay. They were just like, okay, here we go.
Go to the dance calls warmed up already.
Yeah.
I feel like it's never guaranteed
that you will do a warm up.
Yeah.
Just like stretch. Don't hurt yourself.
For sure.
I have this pulled up. This is my rep for college auditions. So I made a little sheet. I had 2 modern songs. I had 2 older songs pre-1970. I had 1 aria, which you won't really need that unless you're auditioning for a school that requires it. I had 2 modern monologues, I had 1 Shakespeare, and I had 1 verse monologue. So that was all my rep. And then I wrote down every school I auditioned for and what they required so that I could have them already prepared. It was a lot.
It's all about being organized.
It is. Make a spreadsheet. There's so many like different kinds online you can just look up. That's like spreadsheet of colleges for auditions, and like people will help if you know people who are like us, freshmen in college, and like my friend's been DMing me asking questions about all these things, like when were you memorized, and like we will answer questions, like because we've been through it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot.
It's the difference between like talking to adults about it and talking to kids about it. Like,
yeah, people who like are actually going
students
in the auditions.
Exactly. Yeah. Because like MTCA is so much of adults telling you what they want to see and not students being like, this is what I did.
I will say though, like I think I've heard great things about MTCA.
Yeah.
Like it just depends on what you need, you know?
Yeah.
Like it depends on like if you really haven't stepped into the audition world, I think MTCA is like a great resource. But if it's more like just like fine tuning and like tweaking, like I think it's if you're debating on getting a coach or not and you're leaning more towards just like doing it yourself, like it's very doable. Yeah.
That's a great point, bringing up coaches though, because I didn't have a coach. I wasn't a part of any of like the My College Audition Coach or MTCA, or there's so many like random programs. I had like my voice teacher, my mom helped, and then I had like 2 of my acting teachers help coach me on monologues. But like basically me and my mom really figured out all of my audition scheduling and didn't really have anyone do it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's how like our family works, and like that's was really good for us. Did you have a coach?
I didn't have a coach. I wish that I did though.
Okay.
Just so that I could have been like, I don't know, just like more confident in my material.
Okay.
I was very confident in my material, but like I would have loved to like work on it too.
Okay. So wait, did you have any vocal lessons with your songs? Oh.
No.
Okay.
So
I definitely did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely did. But
use any resources that like utilize your resources. Yeah. If you have like teachers or like family or friends, or like that can help
your acting
you,
teacher
like
at school,
literally,
like your theater teacher, they'll probably want to help. Like
go
totally.
For it.
If you're like, hey, or if you need help filming pre-screens, like ask someone for help. If your parents can't film or something like that, like find a place at school maybe you could film it. Like I used my school's black box for some of my auditions because like it's a great open space, and I filmed my dance call there, and one of my dance teachers at school helped me like choreograph my dance call. So like it's for sure like use your resources, because there's probably so many people in your life that want to help. You just have to ask.
Yeah. I hope everybody's taking care of themselves. This is a very hard season. You should be proud of the work that you're already doing.
You're gonna submit all of them. You're gonna have Christmas, and then as soon as New Year's Day rings, get prepared. January and February were the craziest months of my life last year, and then my musical was in April. So it's hard too because it is senior season.
Yeah, and you want to like go to like the
formals
stuff,
and the football games and like do it. I did, but like don't push yourself. If you just filmed pre-screens till like 9 p.m., maybe don't go hang out with friends. Maybe go to bed. Rest. It's a lot.
Don't get sick.
I'm
scared of getting sick. I'm scared of getting sick, especially during auditions.
That's funny because you're done.
Because I'm done.
Yeah, I actually lost my voice for the first day of auditions for CCM, and guess what? I booked a show. So listen, it's gonna be okay. And Elysa knows not to yell next year at Diags.
Yes.
Wah, 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 wah. Hey, I wouldn't regret it for the world.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see some of you here next year.
Hey, and listen, hit us up on Instagram if you are doing an in-person CCM audition, because we'd love to meet you and talk to you about our cool school.
Yeah. On that note, also, like, if anybody has any questions,
like,
feel free to
DM, like, put it in the YouTube comments below. Like, we can totally reach out and like answer questions for sure. So yeah, whatever you guys want to do, like, we are a resource here to help. Because I know we answered a lot of questions, but like there's still probably so many more.
Yeah, there's a lot in the dark about this process.
Yeah, like, that you don't figure out until you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're like, also just like applications are so hard. So many essays.
Get on those supplementals so you don't have to worry about Common App while you're doing that.
You're going to have to write like 7 freaking essays for all the different schools. Look at them now, too. Oh. Because usually you have to submit them before you submit your pre-screens, but some don't make you. And then you realize that the due date is December something. And you're like, oh, I have to write 3 essays before Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
Yeah. It's almost 6 p.m. So it's time for me to get dinner to go to rehearsal.
Gabby's got to go to rehearsal. Yeah. I'm going to do the dishes, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mom, because she's going to be like, you're doing the dishes? Wow.
Griffin's not doing the dishes?
Wow. Elysa's got it. Shout out Griffin.
Shout out Griffin.
Hi, Griffin.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this very low-key informational session. Yeah. That flew by.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have another guest for you next week. The week of Halloween weekend.
Oh boy.
Ooh, we should do a spooky themed episode. Maybe we'll do a spooky themed episode.
We'll see. We'll cook.
Spooky. Love you guys a lot. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.